So we just recently got the Assassin's Creed Shadows progression article, which has got tons of information about gear, transmog, skills, abilities, and way more. I'm going to break it all down for you in this video, and I've also got some exciting news to share at the end as well, so make sure you stick around. Jumping right into it with the skill trees, or mastery trees as they're called in this game. Naoe and Yasuke each have multiple trees they can invest in, which are tied to their weapons, and they also have unique trees that are tied to their archetypes as well. Samurai for Yasuke and Shinobi Assassin for Naoe. Weapon trees can unlock new skills like the double assassination that you've just seen there, or using the katana to assassinate through shoji doors. And the archetype trees can offer new ways to diversify gameplay, for example Yasuke being able to switch weapons mid-combo. The design philosophy behind the skill trees is that they want players to feel a sense of mastery behind specific weapons or gameplay styles. You earn mastery points through completing quests and side activities, and you can also get them by defeating unique enemies in the world, like the Samurai Daisho, a stronger enemy type that you can find in castles, but you can also gain them by eliminating your primary targets as well. And some good news for those that like to experiment, you can respec your mastery points at any time. Naoe and Yasuke also share progression, meaning that when you play as one character and gain XP or mastery points, you also gain them for the other character as well. So it won't feel like one character was left behind when you switch to them after playing as the other one for a while. Moving on to active abilities, you can unlock these through your mastery trees, and in combat each weapon has 2 ability slots that you can have assigned at any given time. And each ability can be upgraded multiple times as well to give them additional effects. The Samurai and Shinobi trees also have unique abilities that you can equip as well, and you can have one of these equipped at a time and then not tied to your weapon, so you can use them regardless of what weapon you have equipped. The base version of some abilities aren't unlocked by default, and you either have to progress through the story or earn more knowledge ranks to make them available. And for some of the really high-end skills and abilities, you have to complete specific tasks. For example, the top assassination upgrade, you have to defeat a mysterious group of shinobi. Knowledge ranks are another aspect of leveling up in Shadows, and these are gained through the more peaceful side activities. For example, finding lost teachings in temples, praying at shrines, doing Kujikiri meditation for Naoe, or learning a new kata for Yasuke. These activities are meant to highlight the difference in lifestyle and training methods of Yasuke and Naoe, and I think it's a nice touch. And once again, even though some of these activities are character specific, when you gain a knowledge rank for one character, you gain one for the other character as well, so neither is left behind. You need knowledge ranks in order to upgrade your skills and abilities, so even if you have enough mastery points to unlock a skill that you're after, you also need to be the right knowledge rank to unlock it as well, and this encourages you to go and find these other activities to complete in the world. But this also ties into the end game build of your character as well, because by the time you reach the 6th rank of knowledge, you'll have all the skills available on your mastery trees. But then after that point, you gain access to a brand new knowledge tree and you can continue progressing. And this new knowledge tree has loads of passive skills that allow you to min-max specific stats to fully embrace the playstyle that you want, whether that be a glass cannon stealth character or a super bulky samurai character or something in between. So from the way it sounds, it seems like it's going to give you a lot of flexibility in how you want to play. Obviously, Assassin's Creed Shadows is an RPG game, so it still has gear, but unlike the previous few games, it's only split into the headpiece, the body piece, and the trinket, and your weapons as well, which you can have 2 at a time equipped. You can have 2 main weapons equipped with Naoe, and then she's also able to use her shuriken and kunai for ranged. With Yasuke, it works a little bit differently. You can either have 2 melee weapons equipped, or 1 melee weapon and 1 ranged weapon, which is his bow or his rifle. And high rank and gear pieces, that means your clothing, your weapons and your trinket can all equip perks as well, which can massively customize your gameplay. Enemy health is split into segments this time around, which makes it a lot easier to know how much stealth damage you're going to deal, unless you choose to just have automatic stealth assassinations turned on for every enemy. Personally, I won't be doing that. I want to play it as the devs intended because I feel like it'll offer more of a challenge and force me to be a bit more ghost-like at the beginning of the game and be a bit more creative in how I tackle the tougher enemies until I rank up and get the assassination skills. But obviously that's personal preference. You can use the observe mechanic and eagle vision with Naoe to check an enemy's status and see how difficult they're going to be to fight before you engage. And for enemies that are a much higher rank than you, you'll have the skull icon to let you know that you probably should come back later. The perks for gear are a lot more substantial this time around. They can actually change gameplay significantly. For example, adding knockback and damage to your slide, which gives you essentially a new attack. Or for example, you might find a perk that allows you to do more damage when using air assassinations, which means you'll always want to find an aerial advantage. Gear and weapons can be looted from chests or defeated enemies, and it's largely randomized to give you a sense of exploration. But there are some predetermined legendaries that can be found from specific targets and in certain chests. Gear quality splits into 5 groups: common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. And from lowest to highest, that basically goes from no perks with basic stats that are largely randomized, all the way up to legendaries that have unique hand-picked stats and a gameplay-oriented perk, so something that can completely change your playstyle. The higher leveled gear also has engraven slots as well, allowing you to add your own perks from other pieces of gear that you've collected, which is really cool. You can do that at the Forge once you unlock it in your hideout, and there'll be more information on the Forge in the next gameplay article. Ubisoft did show a brief tease of the hideout article, and I'm really looking forward to it, so make sure you like this video and subscribe because I'll be covering that when it drops as well. It's also worth noting that you can collect gear for the character you're not currently playing as, so for example, you might pick up a sword for Nawe when you're playing as Yasuke. And when JawRaptor played the game back in January, he noted that it could be quite difficult to know when you picked up a piece of gear which character it was meant for because the icons looked very similar. And Ubisoft have addressed that feedback and said that there will be an icon on gear now so that you can easily see which character it's meant for. I think it's really cool that they've taken that feedback on board so quickly, and that just goes to show how valuable these playtests can be, and also that the delays probably have paid off in the long run as well. As I mentioned earlier, you can unlock a Forge in your hideout, and that allows you to transmog your gear, and you don't have to pay any in-game money anymore, so no more saving up coins to change your look. You can also upgrade and dismantle weapons and gear at the Forge, but there'll be more information on that in the next article. Something I really love is that the transmog feature has been expanded now as well, so your weapons can actually be customized in individual modular parts. I really appreciate this as a fan of For Honor, which has a very similar system. A really cool example of taking a good idea from another Ubisoft game. As I mentioned earlier, higher tier pieces of gear have perk slots, and perks can also enhance your gameplay in various ways, such as modifying how an ability works. If you wanted to, you could use these perks to create a more combat focused build for Nawe, or maybe even a stealth ranged build for Yasuke if you want to go full feudal Japan sniper elite, which is probably what I'll do because I'm a big fan of archery. Afflictions are also making a return as well, which need to be built up over time. There's Bleed, which once built up takes off a big chunk of damage. Poison, which deals lighter damage over a period of time, but can also interrupt enemies and cause them to be sick. And Daze, which makes the enemy dizzy and struggle to land their attacks and makes them unable to defend themselves. There's also a knockout effect as well, which only lasts for a certain amount of time, and that's an affliction that's caused by abilities that cause knockout or when you grab an enemy and strangle them. So it's quite interesting to note that this isn't a permanent effect. If you're going for a ghost playstyle in stealth and you knock an enemy out, then you have to be careful because they can wake up. There's also merchants dotted around the open world as well, which sell gear and perks, as well as items such as ammunition and rations, cosmetics for your customizable base, and even cosmetic saddles and mounts for your horse as well. So it seems like in terms of progression, there's an absolute ton of stuff to keep us busy for a long time. And now for the news that I was excited about sharing. So I'll actually have early access to Assassin's Creed Shadows on the 18th of March. I'll be allowed to create videos and stream the game. So I've been extremely lucky to be selected to take part in this by Ubisoft, so I'm very grateful. I'm really looking forward to it. It's the first type of early access I've ever had. So keep an eye on the channel because there'll be plenty more content for Assassin's Creed Shadows around that time. As always, hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video.